Today we'll be reviewing the analytics tool contained within your SnailWorks account. The analytics tool allows users to review aggregate reporting on postal performance for all of the mail that SnailWorks is tracking across its entire platform. The user is able to make some really good determinations about how long it's going to take their mail to deliver based on this analytics reporting, as well as make some determinations as to whether they should mail the mailing from their local SCF or whether it's worth trucking this particular mailing to entry points closer to the recipient. There are 4 reports contained within the SnailWorks analytics tool. The first provides data from an induction SCF to each state. The data is presented in a downloadable report format as well as a map. The second report is similar, only it measures all the way down to the 3-digit zip, both providing a downloadable report and a map. The last 2 reports are really performance reports. The first being performance measured on a weekly basis, and the second report provides performance data state by state. Typically, users will use a combination of these reports to really make determinations about how they want to plan their mailings. To get started using the analytics tool, the user will log into the SnailWorks platform. And you'll notice going across the top of the page is a purple bar with a number of different tabs. You want to locate the Analytics tab out towards the right. When you click on it, there will be 4 options representing each of the different reports available. Click on the report that you wish to run. Let's take a look at the Induction SCF to State report. When you make this selection, you'll notice at the top of the page there's a number of boxes with drop-down items that allows you to define the sample that you want your report based on. In the first box on the left-hand side, you'll select what SCF you intend to mail your mailing from. Then you'll define whether you want to what class of mail you want to measure, as well as the shape of the mail piece, whether you want data on letters or flats. And then in the last drop down on the left-hand side, you'll select what kind of data you want to receive back. If you want data based on USPS postal standards, actual number of days to delivery, you can even select a projected delivery date report. Then on the right-hand column, the first box you'll leave as is for long distance, but in the second box, you'll select the drop-down for the number of weeks you want included in your sample. And then finally, there's a mail date field. If you were getting that projected delivery date report, you could put your mail date in there and you'd know what day to anticipate state by state that your mail would be delivered. Once your selections are made, go ahead and click the Submit button, and your report will begin to populate with the sample that you've selected. You'll also notice that the state map will start to recolor as the data is loaded. Off to the right-hand side, you'll see a little legend that shows you what the different colors mean. If a state is colored in that pale yellow, that means that mail is being delivered within 1 day in that state. And then the darker colored state, the longer number of days it's taking for delivery. Now, right below the state map, you'll see a spreadsheet that provides all of this data in a graph format. You can export that by clicking on the report icon all the way on the right-hand side of that red bar. And you'll be able to download this as a CSV file. The Induction SCF to 3-digit zip report operates exactly like the previous one. The only difference being that your data is going to come back measuring all the way to the 3-digit zip level. Now, this slide doesn't demonstrate this, but down at the bottom below that state graph, there's a spreadsheet that you can go ahead and export just like in the previous report. The Performance by Week report has a few different options. First, you will select your class of mail as well as the shape of your mail piece. and you will go ahead and select the number of weeks that you want to receive measurement for. And then you'll see what you get back is a graphical representation week by week of how much of the mail is delivering on time versus how much of the mail is being delivered late and the number of days late. And the colored legend is very similar to the one that's used on the state maps. Now, if you wanted those bars to just report on the number of days late, you would go ahead and click on that little box next to Hide Date. The Performance by State report provides data on the average number of days mail is taking to deliver to each state. You'll set this report up very similarly to the others in that you'll select the class of mail you're measuring, the shape of your mail piece, the metric that you want included in your report, as well as the length of time you want included in your sample. Now, this report also gives you the option to measure against the previous postal performance standards or the current ones. If you recall, back in 2021, the post office changed their delivery standards. So if you wanted to measure against those standards, click on the 2021 button. Otherwise, leave it at the 2022 to get measurements against the current standards. Once you've made your selections, click the Submit button, and the state map will start to recolor based on the selection that you've picked. Now, below this map, there's also the spreadsheet that you can download, and it provides data on what the postal performance is for each state individually, as well as the actual days for delivery. Now, in the far right-hand column is a data field that we've not seen in previous reports, and this shows you the number of pieces included in your sample. So if you see that a particular state only has a few pieces, you might consider the results for that to be statistically irrelevant. But if you have several thousand pieces of mail, you'll know that you have data that is reliable. So the analytics reporting tool is a very powerful tool, and it's actually quite simple to run these reports. First, you determine which report format you want to run and make that selection, and then you start defining your sample. Pick the class of mail you want to measure as well as the shape of your mail piece. And then you'll select the induction point that you intend to enter your mail from. And then it's really just a matter of downloading your reports, putting them in a job folder, or sharing them with colleagues and clients. At any point in time, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We really do love to hear from our clients. Customer service is best reached by email at customerservice@snailworks.com or by phone 855-697-6245. Thank you for your time, and most importantly, thank you for your business.